In 1973, a research team in Guatemala made a discovery that should have ended global malnutrition. They found a tree whose leaves contained more protein than milk, more calcium than dairy, more iron than spinach, more potassium than bananas, more vitamin C than oranges. 92 verified nutrients in a single organism. Every part of it was edible. Leaf, pod, seed, flower, root. 5 foods from one tree. It grew in drought conditions where nothing else survived. It purified contaminated water. It thrived in dead soil that rejected every other crop. The World Health Organization called it the miracle tree. Ancient healers called it the never die plant. 53 years later, you have never seen it in a grocery store. And that absence has a price tag measured in pharmaceutical profits, dairy industry revenue, and 2 billion people suffering from nutrient deficiency. This is the Moringa, Moringa oleifera, the complete nutrition source they buried because it threatened to make medicine cabinets and milk cartons obsolete. Welcome to nature's blacklist. Before we open this vault, understand what you're about to hear. This is not a story about an exotic tree. This is forensic evidence of how industries built on deficiency handle a solution that provides everything they sell in a single leaf. Let us begin with what you are currently losing by not knowing this plant exists. Number 1, what you're losing. You are paying for protein supplements. The moringa leaf contains 27% protein by dry weight. Milk contains 3.4%. You are buying protein powder manufactured in factories, when a tree growing in your backyard produces 8 times more protein than the milk in your refrigerator. You are buying calcium supplements. Moringa leaves contain 4 times more calcium than milk. The dairy industry spends $6 billion annually convincing you that bones require their product. A single tree provides more calcium than their entire supply chain. You're buying iron supplements. Moringa contains 25 times more iron than spinach. 25 times. The supplement industry generates $42 billion per year selling pills. One tree delivers more iron than pharmacy shelves full of bottles. You are buying vitamin C supplements when you get sick. Moringa contains 7 times more vitamin C than oranges. The citrus industry built an empire on immune health claims. One tree outperforms their orchards. You're buying multivitamins. Moringa contains 92 verified nutrients. 92. Vitamins A, B1, B2, B3, B6, B7, C, D, E, K. Minerals including calcium, iron, potassium, magnesium, zinc. All 9 essential amino acids. Complete protein in one leaf. The supplement industry generates $177 billion annually. One tree makes their entire product catalog redundant. You have been paying for what grows on branches. Number 2, the discovery they buried. In 1973, the Institute of Nutrition of Central Americas and Panama began analyzing moringa for a malnutrition intervention program. Their findings were extraordinary. They documented 92 distinct nutrients in the leaves alone. They measured protein content exceeding every common plant source. They found amino acid profiles rivaling eggs. The research was published. International health organizations took notice. The World Health Organization began promoting moringa for malnourished populations. UNICEF incorporated it into feeding programs. Researchers across Africa and Asia confirmed what traditional healers had known for 5,000 years. This tree delivers. Then, something predictable happened. The research continued in developing nations. It accelerated in regions too poor to interest pharmaceutical companies. It flourished everywhere that could not afford the products moringa replaced. But in wealthy nations, where the real money flows, the tree remained invisible. Here is the timeline that tells the story. In 1973, when moringa research began showing results, the global pharmaceutical industry was valued at $40 billion. Today, it exceeds $1.4 trillion. That growth required your deficiency. It required problems that need their solutions. It required you not knowing that a single tree produces 92 nutrients they sell separately in 92 different packages at 92 different price points. The moringa tree cannot be patented in its natural form. It grows from seed in any tropical or subtropical climate. It survives drought. It thrives in poor soil. It produces leaves year-round in warm climates. It does not require the pharmaceutical supply chain. It does not require the dairy industry. It does not require you to come back next month with your prescription renewed. And it was quietly excluded from Western awareness. Number 3, the nutritional profile they fear. Let me show you exactly what they buried. The numbers I am about to share come from peer-reviewed nutritional analyses. These are not claims. These are measurements. Moringa leaves, gram for gram, compared to common foods. Protein. Moringa, 27 grams per 100 grams dried. Milk, 3.4 grams. Moringa wins by 8 times. Calcium. Moringa, 2,003 milligrams per 100 grams. Milk, 125 milligrams. Moringa wins by 17 times. Let that number land. 17 times more calcium than milk. The dairy industry has spent decades convincing you that calcium requires cows. One tree makes that entire argument obsolete. Iron. Moringa 28 milligrams per 100 grams. Spinach 2.7 milligrams. Moringa wins by 10 times. Potassium. Moringa 324 milligrams. Banana 358 milligrams. Moringa wins by 3.7 times. Vitamin A. Moringa 8 to the 900 IU. Keratin 16,000 IU. Moringa wins. Vitamin C. Moringa 220 milligrams. Orange 30 milligrams. Moringa wins by 7 times. 92 nutrients. 1 tree. 0 corporations required. Now, here's the part they really do not want you to know. Moringa is a complete protein. It contains all 9 essential amino acids in bioavailable form. The same claim that sells whey protein for $50 per container. The same claim that justifies meat industry marketing. The same claim that the supplement industry builds empires on. 1 tree, growing in your yard, producing complete protein month after month, while the industries selling you protein watch their market justification dissolve. Number 4, 5 foods from 1 tree. The moringa is not a single food source, it is an entire food system disguised as a tree. The leaves are the primary harvest. Fresh leaves are eaten like spinach. Dried leaves are ground into powder that stores for months. That powder contains the full 92 nutrient profile. Add it to anything: smoothies, soups, bread, rice. Invisible nutrition boosting everything it touches. The pods are eaten like green beans. In India, they are called drumsticks. They appear in curries, soups, and stews across South Asia. They contain fiber, vitamin C, and protein. The seeds are eaten roasted or pressed for oil. Moringa oil is comparable to olive oil in nutritional profile. It has been used for cooking, skincare, and lamp fuel for thousands of years. 1 tree producing oil that rivals Mediterranean orchards. The flowers are edible. They are cooked into dishes or brewed into tea. Traditional medicine uses them for respiratory conditions and inflammation. Here's where this becomes almost unbelievable. The roots are used as flavoring. They taste similar to horseradish. They contain concentrated compounds used medicinally for centuries. 5 foods from 1 organism: leaf, pod, seed, flower, root. 1 species replacing an entire grocery aisle of your dependency, and it asks for almost nothing in return. Number 5, the tree that refuses to die. The moringa earned its name, the never die plant, in Senegal. The local name is Nebede. It translates literally to never die. They did not name it this for poetic reasons. They named it because they watched it survive conditions that killed everything else. Moringa survives extended drought. It evolved in the sub-Himalayan regions of India where dry seasons last months. Its deep taproot accesses water that surface plants cannot reach. When other crops wither, moringa continues producing leaves. Moringa survives poor soil. It thrives in sandy, rocky, and depleted conditions that reject commercial crops. It does not demand the fertilizer inputs that industrial agriculture requires. Moringa grows aggressively fast. In optimal conditions, it reaches 3 meters in its first year. 3 meters. Some varieties grow 4.5 meters annually. This is one of the fastest growing trees on Earth. It produces food within months of planting. Most fruit trees require years before first harvest. Moringa can produce harvestable leaves within 60 days, seeds within the first year. Immediate return on investment. It coppices when cut. Cut a moringa down to a stump, and it regrows. Multiple stems emerge. The tree becomes bushier and more productive with harvesting. You cannot kill it by taking from it. Stay with me because this changes everything about how you should see your food security. A plant that survives drought, grows in bad soil, produces food in months, regenerates when harvested, requires no purchased inputs. This is the opposite of a customer. This is independence growing in tree form. Number 6, the industry response. When a solution threatens $1.4 trillion in pharmaceutical revenue, $721 billion in dairy revenue, and $117 billion in supplement revenue, the response is predictable. They did not attack moringa directly. They made it invisible. Grocery stores do not stock fresh moringa leaves. Walk through the produce section of any Western supermarket. You will find vegetables flown from 3 continents. You will find exotic fruits most people cannot pronounce. You will not find moringa leaves. Why? Fresh moringa has a short shelf life. It does not survive the supply chain that processed foods dominate. It would require local production, and local production creates independence from distribution networks that generate profits at every step. Supplement companies sell moringa powder at premium prices. The tree that threatens the supplement industry has been captured by the supplement industry. They package it. They mark it up. They control the supply. They profit from the very thing that should have made them obsolete. Medical education ignores nutrition almost entirely. The average American medical student receives fewer than 20 hours of nutrition training across 4 years. Doctors are not taught about moringa because doctors are not taught about food. They are taught about prescriptions. Agricultural subsidies flow to commodity crops. In the United States, corn, soy, and wheat receive billions in government support. Moringa receives nothing. The crops that create dependency get funded. The trees that create independence do not. This is not conspiracy theory. This is resource allocation that reveals priorities. Follow the money. It never leads to solutions that eliminate the need for money. Number 7, the water purification secret. This is the part that should make you question everything you have been told about what is possible. Moringa seeds purify contaminated water. This is not traditional belief. This is verified science. The seeds contain a protein that acts as a natural coagulant. When crushed and added to dirty water, the protein binds to bacteria, sediment, and contaminants. They clump together. They sink to the bottom. Clean water rises to the top. Research published in peer-reviewed journals documents 90 to 99% removal of bacteria from contaminated water using moringa seed treatment. Let those numbers register. 99% bacteria removal from seeds that grow on trees that grow from other seeds. Billions of people lack access to clean water. The water purification industry generates $73 billion annually selling solutions. A tree seed does what their technology does. It costs nothing beyond the original tree. It regenerates itself annually. It was documented, verified, and then buried in academic journals that the public never reads, while the purification industry continues selling products that moringa seeds outperform. Number 8, the medicinal suppression. Traditional medicine has used moringa for over 5,000 years. Ancient Ayurvedic texts document it treating 300 different conditions. This is not primitive superstition. When traditional medicine shows consistent results across thousands of years in multiple continents, science eventually investigates why. Here's what research has found. Anti-inflammatory compounds. Moringa leaves contain isothiocyanates that reduce inflammation markers in controlled studies. Inflammation underlies most chronic disease. One tree addresses the root cause. Blood sugar regulation. Multiple studies document moringa's effect on glucose metabolism. Diabetics in traditional cultures have used it for centuries. Modern research confirms the mechanism. Cholesterol reduction. Moringa leaf powder has demonstrated cholesterol-lowering effects in human trials. The mechanism is documented. The results are measurable. Blood pressure effects. Research indicates moringa influences blood pressure through multiple pathways. Traditional use aligns with clinical measurement. Antimicrobial properties. Laboratory studies confirm moringa extracts inhibit bacteria, fungi, and various pathogens. The traditional use as an infection treatment has biochemical basis. Now, understand what this means for the pharmaceutical industry. Inflammation drugs, blood sugar drugs, cholesterol drugs, blood pressure drugs, antibiotics. These categories represent hundreds of billions in annual pharmaceutical revenue. One tree shows activity across all of them. You cannot patent a tree leaf. You cannot charge $500 per month for something growing in a backyard. You cannot build recurring revenue from a plant that produces forever. The research exists. The mechanisms are documented. The implementation never occurred in wealthy nations because implementation would have destroyed business models built on your chronic conditions. Number 9, how to grow your independence. Here's the critical piece. You can grow this tree. It was never actually banned. It was never made illegal. It was simply made invisible through the most effective censorship of all. Silence. No one told you about it. No nursery prominently displays it. No agricultural extension hands you a growing guide. But the seeds exist. Online seed suppliers carry moringa seeds. Specialty nurseries stock them. They are legal, available, and waiting for you to realize what you have been missing. Here is what you need to know. Moringa requires warm conditions. It thrives in USDA zones 9 through 10. If you live in tropical or subtropical climates, it grows without complaint. In temperate climates, it grows as an annual or requires protection during winter. It tolerates poor soil but prefers drainage. Waterlogged roots will kill it. Sandy, loamy, or even rocky soil works. The tree is not demanding. It grows from seed easily. Soak seeds overnight. Plant 1 inch deep. Germination occurs within 1 to 2 weeks. Growth after that is aggressive. It can be container grown. In cooler climates, grow moringa in large pots. Move them indoors during cold months. The tree adapts to container culture. Harvest leaves once the tree establishes. Young leaves have the highest nutrient concentration. Harvest outer leaves and new growth. The tree responds by producing more. Dry leaves for storage. Spread leaves on screens in shade. Avoid direct sunlight, which degrades nutrients. Once dried, grind into powder. Store in airtight containers. Moringa powder maintains nutrition for months. Save seeds for next season. Let some pods mature fully on the tree. Harvest when they turn brown and begin to split. Each pod contains multiple seeds. Each seed is a future tree. Each tree is a future food system. Here is how this works. The algorithm is watching right now. It is deciding whether this reaches 100 people or 100,000. That decision is based almost entirely on what happens in the next 30 seconds. If you hit, like you are telling the system this matters. If you share this with someone still buying supplements they do not need, you just handed them a key to a vault that was locked for 50 years. And if you subscribe and hit the bell, you are not following a channel. You are joining a list of people who refuse to let this knowledge get buried again. The next vault is already prepared. There is a water plant that doubles every 48 hours, more protein than eggs. NASA studied it for space missions. The United Nations called it the solution to world hunger. Then it disappeared from public conversation. That vault opens soon. Subscribe so you're there when it does. The pharmaceutical empire they built requires your